आत्मनिर्भर भारत और एविएशन में एमआरओ सेक्टर का क्या रोल है, किस तरह से इम्पोर्टेंट है ये, आज इन सब विषयों में जानकारी देने के लिए हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं श्री CB अनंतकृष्णन सर। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। वेलकम टू आवर शो सर।
थैंक यू।
वेलकम टू द प्रोग्राम सर। सर, टॉकिंग अबाउट एज वी हैव सीन, अभी जो वीडियो में देखा कितना प्रॉस्पेक्ट है, मतलब इंडिया और ख़ासतौर पर जो HAL की बात करें, जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं जिन्हें एक्सप्लोर किया भी है HAL ने और आने वाले समय में करने की और इच्छा रखता है। हाउ डू यू सी, हाउ हैज़ HAL चेंज द इकोनॉमिक सिनेरियो ऑफ इंडिया?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. What we started as an MRO industry, that is at maintenance, repair and overall of aircraft. Today HAL is into the entire gamut of the aircraft industry. We do the design and development of the aircraft, and then we manufacture the aircraft, and then we upgrade programs we do for these aircraft, and then ultimately the repair and overall activity. So the entire life cycle we are there, and it is basically for the military aircraft. And the repair and overall of military aircraft also, it's in a big way we are into that. Almost 60% of our revenue last year has come from the repair and overall activity. And HAL today has spread almost in 6 states with all 33 divisions, 20 manufacturing divisions and 13 research and development divisions, because we understand ultimately it is our own product which is going to be more important under the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So the infrastructure which HAL has created over the last 6 decades will now stand in good stead when we want to really achieve the self-reliance. Besides, we are also employing almost 26,000 employees of the company, and we also indirect employment of almost generated for almost 16,000 employees. So all in all, we have been contributing to the economy in a big way by way of employment, by way of tax generation, by way of value of production, and more important is that by way of import substitution, so that the crucial foreign exchanges will be
सर, आपने एम्प्लॉयमेंट की बात करी, तो अगर कोई HAL को ज्वाइन करना चाहता है, हाउ कैन समवन जॉइन द HAL?
Yeah, we have got a very elaborate process of taking into the employment. We have got for the executives, we have got a test which it is being conducted for all the engineering graduates and all the other professionals in other streams like finance, HR and other management trainees. We keep recruiting every year. Almost 300 to 400, minimum of 300 management trainees we recruit every year, and we keep adding on because we are expanding our businesses. So once we get through the test, then we have an interview process, and once in the interview process we select the candidates, and once the candidates are selected, they are given a very rigorous training of management training of almost one year across all sections of the company, so that it is a very robust training and which is one of the best, and then we make them industry ready. Besides, we also we have got an aerospace skill council which try to develop the capabilities of the aerospace industry in general, not necessarily restricted only to HAL, so that to create the job opportunities for the people who are
वाकई गर्व की बात होती है युवाओं के लिए भी जब वो एक ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का चयन करते हैं, ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को अपनी कर्मभूमि बनाते हैं जो देश की सेवा भी कर रहा है, देश की रक्षा और सुरक्षा में भी है। सर, आपने जैसे बात की कि MRO हम इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूशन भी कर पा रहे हैं। Is there any cost difference, like domestic enterprises availing services from domestic organizations like HAL or from some foreign enterprise? So are there any cost differences as well?
So in the long run, to start with, the cost could be, there may not be much differences, but what happens is that aircraft, once an aircraft is purchased, we have to be there in the business for the next 40 years, which means we have to support the aircraft for the next 40 years. So what we call this as a life cycle of the aircraft. The life cycle cost of the aircraft, when it is indigenously made and when it is being supported indigenously, becomes much lesser when compared to the foreign aircraft which is being procured. Besides, you have seen the recent geopolitical situation wherein we are also, our supply chain also has been badly getting into trouble. So that those days we need not have to be dependent on any foreign OEM, we can ourselves take care of that. So what is critical is that as a strategy, we need to be self-reliant and we need to be completely indigenizing, so that we will not be dependent on any foreign OEMs.
जी, अगर रक्षा क्षमता की बात करें भारत की, तो how do you see the defense potential of India in upcoming years, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, the recent Atmanirbhar initiative of our Honorable Prime Minister is a big game changer as far as the defense industry in the country is concerned. The defense purchase procurements which were hitherto being made from the foreign resources are all going to be sourced within the country. As you could see, the budget in the current last year budget allocation of 23-24, almost 67% of the budget is being earmarked for procurements from the Indian defense sources. It was 36% some 5-6 years back, and today it has slowly increased and it has come to 67%, which will keep growing. And in the last 5 years, almost 80,000 crores of orders have been sourced only from the Indian, 87%. 87% of the orders are sourced from the Indian domestic procurement. All in all, augurs well for the country, and with so many programs which are coming up, like the IMRH, Indian medium role helicopters, which HAL is initiating, and then the AMCA advanced medium combat aircraft, which is a 5th generation aircraft, and with so much of engine technology which we are trying to bring into the country. It's going to be a real exciting times ahead for the defense industry, for the Indian defense industry. I would say not only for HAL but to the Indian defense industry ecosystem as well.
HAL और defense industry हमारा जो रक्षा क्षेत्र है दोनों के लिए ही फायदेमंद है. Sir, will FDI policy have any effect on MRO operation or prospects of HAL? The current FDI policy or the prospective FDI initiatives of government?
There are sufficient FDI policy which are already available, which will only be motivating the foreign investors to keep investing in India, because it has been made investor friendly. So FDI will only aid to this MRO activity, being more of MRO, civil MRO coming into the Indian industry. So I think that should only aid and not be an impediment.
Sir, internships की अगर बात करें, like you talk about job opportunities, and in the upcoming years, as we have seen in the video, कि और बहुत ज़्यादा job opportunities HAL जो है provide करने वाला है. Internships के लिए भी, because हम सोमवार को हमारा focus होता है DD Morning Show में कि हम बच्चों को career के लिए भी guide करें, motivate करें. So HAL, do you have some internships or apprenticeship programs as well?
Yeah. We are also governed by the apprenticeship program, and we keep training not less than 1,000 apprentices on an annual basis, so that to make them prepared for the technical jobs which they have to go through. So we have got a separate training center for the apprentices in Bangalore and in the other places. So we keep taking the apprentices on a year-on-year basis, and we give them sufficient training, and the training is a very exhaustive training which we give, so that once they complete this training, they will be in a position to take up any technical job which they are being trained. So we aid that training, and besides we also have continuous training facilities being extended under the various CSR programs. Also we see that what extent we can give the training, and we have got a separate aerospace skill development council under the aegis of the Skill Development Council of India. So we are training there as well. So we all-round training is being given. It's not only in the aerospace industry but also in the other streams of engineering, so that the apprentices will get ready for the taking up any job which they would like.
Sir, in MRO sector, like what kind of maintenance we are looking into the aviation's sectors?
Yeah, today in military, as far as the military aircrafts are concerned, we are completely doing the complete repair and overhaul, which means that full overhaul. The aircraft is completely being stripped open, and then the complete overhaul is being done. So the capabilities which HAL has developed over the years in doing this MRO of military aircraft will stand in good stead when we want to get into the civil MRO business. Civil MRO is a different ball game altogether. We will have to prepare ourselves, but it is also very capital intensive. We need airports, we need hangars, we need runways, so which would mean that HAL is in a much better position today to get into the civil MRO in a bigger way, because of the infrastructure which we have developed, which we have got, and we would like to see that there is a convergence between the military repair and overhaul and the civil repair and overhaul, so that the assets, civil assets and the military assets are being utilized optimally, so that to derive the economies of scale. So that is the next strategy, and HAL is working towards discussions with the various foreign OEMs to see how to bring in the civil MRO, and I think very soon we will be into civil MRO as well.
Sir, युवाओं की बात करें, if we talk about youth, Gen Z today, they are least concerned or say least interested in 9-to-5 jobs, routine jobs. So does HAL have some facilities or say some policy regarding their HR development, or say their self-actualization need, the satisfaction of the self-actualization need of youth today?
Yeah, before directly coming into your query, I can just let you know one statistics. In HAL, the attrition rate is less than 1%, which means the management trainees whom we have been taking year on year and the employees whom we have been recruiting are quite happy working in HAL, in spite of all the constraints which you have indicated, 9 to 5 and why. The reason being that the people who are joining HAL, the sort of passion, I mean the availability of opportunities of developing and designing and developing an aircraft and maintaining an aircraft, it gives them immense job satisfaction, and they are going to create an aircraft of their own by contributing in their own way. It's something which is very, very fascinating and which is very interesting to the younger generation. So the driver for joining in HAL to the younger generation and continuing to be there in HAL is not only they are seeing the growth opportunities because HAL is ever expanding, but also because of the opportunities and the skill sets which are available for them to learn, and also to see that there is a self-actualization which when it is being recognized elsewhere outside, when they are associated with some of these programs like your trainer program or your fighter program, and when they go out and tell that I am part of that program, they get that satisfaction and the respect which they get, because we are ultimately serving the nation and we are supporting the armed forces which do a great service to the nation.
Employment की बात चल रही है, youth की बात चल रही है सर, ऐसे में we would like to know like any update or projects in the pipeline for job creation.
Absolutely, ma'am. We are into, as you will be aware, recently our Honorable Prime Minister has inaugurated the Tumkur factory, which itself will create a job for almost 6,000 employees at its peak capacity. Besides, we are having a number of programs in the offing, like your helicopters, medium role helicopters, which is a higher category of helicopters, and then the fighter aircrafts which we are working out with the DRDO, NADA, and the engine programs which are going to come. And besides, as what I have told, since with Atmanirbhar and self-reliance, what was initially getting imported, we are going to produce within the country. So which means that there is going to be a lot of job creation, not directly by HAL alone. In HAL it will be, besides we will also be creating an ecosystem which wherein the MSMEs and the various private industry will be involved, where also jobs will be created. So HAL with all the new projects and with the country dependent on, I mean, wanting to achieve this self-reliance. So, I mean, there will be.
So, sir, will there be any prospect for ancillary industries as well?
Absolutely. Ancillary industries, the entire ecosystem today, it has evolved around HAL. Now the ancillary industries also will keep coming up. As you could see, the defense industry which has grown up in the recent past, many of the private sector which has now been into major defense, major defense companies have all been once been ancillary industries of HAL, and from ancillary industries today they are on their own and they are exporting to the country companies like Boeing and Airbus. So this ancillary industry is going to enlarge and then keep growing up, so that they themselves will become a big part of the defense industry ecosystem within the country.
सर चलते चलते you started from 1940, पहला एयरक्राफ्ट 1941 अगस्त में ही उड़ाया HAL ने, और आज भी अगस्त के महीने में हम बैठकर बात कर रहे हैं चैलेंजेस और ये पूरी जो सक्सेस जर्नी रही HAL की. क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स.
Yeah, absolutely. HAL has been one of the great organizations, and we are really privileged and feel proud that we are supporting the Indian Defence Forces, which does an human service to the country's security, and we will continue to support them, and we'll make the country a safer place by supporting the Indian Defence Forces. Thank you.
सर, आप हमारे साथ जुड़े, इतनी जानकारियाँ आपने साझा की, और वाकई जब आप जैसे लोगों को हम बुलाते हैं अपने प्रोग्राम में, सुनते हैं और आपकी जो पॉलिसी विजन को हम जानते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं मोटिवेट होता है आज का युवा भी, और मानता है कि पहला धर्म राष्ट्र धर्म है और पहली माँ भारत माँ है. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कार्यक्रम में आने के लिए. थैंक यू.